Well, it is Tuesday, November 4th. This is my weekly audio live stream and chat. This week is a little bit more impromptu. I didn't make any kind of thumbnail. I didn't do any kind of like countdown or pregame or nothing like that. I just jumped in today, just raw on the go. I thought, oh, it's Tuesday. I got to do my live session thing. So here I am. Welcome to the show. For those who are going to be tuning in after the fact, welcome and thank you for joining. To all of my new subscribers and those who support the channel after the Toronto Audio Fest 2025. A lot of exciting things have happened since then. I'm going to allow the chat to kind of roll in, the viewers to roll in. I know this wasn't prompted or notifications are going to go out a little bit at a time. It's about my usual time on the evenings on the Tuesday and Thursdays that I do my live sessions. Saturdays on the occasional. Things are going on. What's going on True Voice of Reason is here. Amazing. Thank you very much. Everything sounds good. I'm in tune over here. So everything's tuned up. I got my shiny new haircut. It's just easier to treat the side effects to my Crohn's disease. It kind of affects my skin. So this kind of happened as a necessity. I wanted to just kind of put it to rest and deal with it as best I can. We all got something, it's like they say, always be kind to people because you never know what kind of battle they're fighting. And that's true with a lot of things. Especially in like, say, HiFi shows, things like that. A lot of people that visit shows don't realize like how much effort it takes to actually get that stuff done. How many days ahead of time, sometimes 3 or 4 days ahead of time, and a month or more ahead of time in some cases, where designers of the rooms, the things that they're bringing, the brands that are involved, there's a lot of logistics, a lot of planning for the spaces, the acoustic treatment. Everybody's got to be on board. What are you showcasing? It's a lot of effort. So to give that little bit of like appreciation when you're there and acknowledge how much work that everybody puts in just to make an audio show come to life. So you're like the Who, you're in tune. That's got to be a song reference that I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing today. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Let me pull up the most recent, maybe I'll get them in-house speakers. It came out of nowhere. I had just been commenting on a couple of things today. I spoke to, I guess, somebody through the social media side. I was commenting on Instagram, and these speakers. Let me see. Soundworks. I'm trying to type and think at the same time. It's not working. These speakers I've known of for a long time, and I've never heard them because they're more studio monitors, if I can say that. They're mostly used for professional studio monitoring, so they're not really hi-fi, but they are a significant amount of technology. So the speakers I'm mentioning are ExMachina, whatever you want to call them. They are essentially a coaxial driver mid-range tweeter in a very, very rigid, solid. I'm trying to adjust my window here so I can. There you go. So it's a carbon fiber or spread toe carbon fiber extreme, the what's it called? Techstream material made in their own proprietary design by CEOS. Subwoofer type of driver as well, CEOS drivers. They are Hypex powered, AKM DAC inside their DSP. It is self-powered, so it is mostly for studio monitoring. It essentially is a powered monitor for studio monitoring, but their measurements are plus minus 1, essentially plus minus 1 decibel. And this is all DSP controlled, and it's got incredible, like absolutely incredible response times due to the technology and everything else that they're using. Now, I don't know if there's a before and after. I would love to see a before and after the DSP. I don't know if there is one. So the DSP is proprietary. Let me see. So that's a coaxial on and off axis there. So the further you go off axis, it's got a couple of different variations. Anyways, the whole point is essentially, like, I've known of these speakers for a while, and I've been very interested in trying them out. So let me see if I can just get some photos of them in space. In a space, because you can't really tell what's going on here with these. Let me see. So this is what they look like, essentially. They're a coaxial design. It's a 7-inch or a 9-inch driver. It's a 5.5 by 5.5 or 7-inch mid-range coaxial tweeter. Again, studio monitors, and just off the top of my head, I was just watching, I was watching what was going on with Instagram, and I just messaged them. I was like, hey, I'd really, really love to be able to hear these. And then, someone reached out and said, maybe possible. Let's contact the local distributor or shop or anything like that and see if it's possible. And, I don't have any idea as of yet if they'll come in, because, like, let's face it, my channel isn't really about studio monitors, but studio monitors are 100% responsible for all of the music that we listen to. They're more like a tool, right? They're a tool to make the music. So they're not in that hi-fi realm. And I had expressed that. I told the guys in the social media that, yeah, I don't do studio monitoring. I'm not in that monitoring space. So there's a chance, at least in my perspective, how valuable is it for a brand to send products out to somebody who's not even in their demographic? Are anybody that I know really going to be interested? Maybe, yeah, because it's a proof of concept in technology. We've seen coaxial drivers before. We've seen tech stream drivers before. The guys at Per Listen obviously use something of a tech stream driver. Rockport Technologies uses something that's similar to tech stream fiber. The Borison Acoustics have a spread toe carbon that's their own blend of materials, which is not a tech stream, and it's not made by Cios. They make their own drivers. So there's a lot of brands doing very similar things, even like all of the coaxial drivers, Kef and Tannoy and Genelec and MoFi and ELAC, and there's a lot of brands in and out of the space that use coaxial drivers for time alignment. Kef, for instance, as well, has a uniformity, has a good dispersion pattern. So it's using all of the same technologies that HiFi would be using. Hypex, like Encore amplifiers, that's in a 3-way design with the really, really fast DSP. Yeah, like you said, flat, like extremely flat response. It's beyond flat response. This is the best that I have seen flat. That's more than flat. That's artificially flat is maybe what a lot of people would say. Flat. Like, I've never seen a chart like this before, ever. And I guess that's the proprietary technology that they're using, What's really interesting to see would be their step response, which is like impulse. This is the phase. So they're using the DSP to control phase response as well. And let's see, is this THD without smoothing? So this is 1 here. So it's 0.04%. I guess that's not percent. It's hard to read the chart on the side. Anyways, all the details are there if anybody's curious. This is just something I wanted to bring up. It's the newest thing that might show up here. I have to cross my fingers. I've asked about them. I mean, and I've known the brand for a long time. I followed them for many, many years. And I think that, I mean, even when I saw it a number of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I thought, I mean, wow, like what an incredible idea to put a coaxial driver with those materials into a very, very resolute cabinet. It's made of some other kind of material. It's not even an HDF material. Let me see if I can't find the name of the technology. Let's go back to the web page. Lots of dealers there. Manuals about us. No, I need technology. Not very much on the homepage. That's great. And I mean, they have like a lot of. There's a smaller the Ganymede, and these are all like space names. It's essentially they're using like space, kind of like Pulsar, Quasar, Ganymede, Titan, Arcturus. They're all space, and like Titan is a moon, Ganymede is a moon, Quasar is a type of star, Pulsar is also a type of star. So they're using all kinds of like space age thing, and like ExMachina is like outside the machine. The term or the phrase is Deus Ex Machina, which is God outside the machine. There's also a movie by this name. So it's all very kind of clever. I appreciate what they're doing with this stuff. It looks like 5 models, so that's like an in-wall model. Titan are small dual, like 2-way coax drivers. Essentially what you could do is, if you got the Quasars, which are like an MTM large 9-inch woofers, if you had these for your mains, you could do pulsars around the rear or smaller Ganymedes even for the sides, and then you could use even the Arcturus in the front for mains, and then you could use the Titans as like height modules for a full surround sound. So that would be pretty cool. Have you seen the speakers that Nick Toids and Tom Zarbo did together? Dang near as flat. No, I didn't. I'm going to need a link for that, or I'm going to have to look it up. I mean, I could look up his channel and just hit that other name and see if it pops up. Tom, what's his name? This is a very casual day today for anybody who's watching. I didn't have really anything planned. I am trying to what do they look like? There's a couple of different things. Is it these? No, so that's not them. ES3? Yeah, this is a problem with looking it up on Google, is I have no idea. I probably have to look it up in their videos. This one? The Cube? I need more information than this. Yeah, there's probably more than one. And yeah, if you find it, let me know. Based on a PS8. Oh, I have not. Nothing. Nope. So we'll see. I think they agreed, or they talked about sending Pulsar, but the Pulsar's a 9-inch woofer. I don't think that I'm going to need that one. I think that the smaller one, the Ganymede, which is a 6.5-inch driver, 7-inch driver, 5.5-inch mid-range, this one might be more than enough for me in my rooms. I mean, I'm not really sitting that far from them anyways, but it should be interesting. I mean, yeah, Hypex Encore amplifiers, AKM DACs that are used. Then they have like a very, very high gen, like 5th gen Shark DSP. So really, really cool stuff. Sealed design. Yeah. Should be really interesting. I'm excited for some new things. I spent some time figuring out what I wanted in-house. I said a couple of episodes ago that I would be getting the KEF R3 metas, not R3, R11 metas, the towers. That's being figured out right now. For me personally, they're a step in a different direction from where the Arundel towers were. Now, fingers crossed, this is going to be something that I'm really going to enjoy. I've got them paired to the Purify module amplifiers. I've been going back and forth with the Monitor Audio Studio 89s as well as the PMC 25, 23i towers. Fairly small towers. Now, if you've seen any of the previous lives I've done for the last week, I've been struggling a lot trying to figure out the sound staging in my room. The sound staging in my room, for whatever reason, seems to be coming out of the floor. And they're smaller towers and speakers. Hello, Mirage. Welcome. They're smaller towers than I'm used to, so the tweeter level is below my seating position. I mean, even out here in this room, my bookshelf, the Bucard Audio A10s that I'm listening to, the tweeter level is 3 or 4 inches above the towers. And then I sit fairly high because I'm a tall person. So pint-sized powerhouse in is the video. Okay, cool. So let me see if I can find that. Okay, so now I've got the video. This is the video. Let's see, do they show measurements? I need to show measurements. Is this a frequency response?
First thing I had to do was to...
Oh, this is their designing the crossover. I don't want to give away a whole lot of the video, so that's why I'm skipping through it. So is this the final?
A finalized response with that. It was...
Yes, that looks like the final response. That's pretty cool. Yeah, with a little bit of tuning there, and I guess that's with they're using a DSP control. They're using a DSP controller for this?
Do that. I employed a program called Rephase. Now, this is a DSP trick that I've learned.
So Rephase is a DSP program, I suppose, that they use to import and then tune the module that's in the device. Exactly, and this is exactly what's going on with a lot of stuff right now. I mean, even my speakers that I'm using right now, Bucard. Decline, the anniversary A10s, which I have in house right now. These are essentially a powered bookshelf that have master tuning. So master tunings means the DSP that's included in these, I can tune them based on that profile in my room for however I want it to sound. And they both look and sound incredible in here. Can I zoom in, move up and down? Oh, anyways, with the Purify drivers, you know, They already measure very, very great. I mean, even other brands now are starting to think about moving towards the Purify drivers. The problem is the Purify drivers, just out of the box, their cost is much higher. It's almost a third or 2/3 more than other drivers. So that puts the cost of every other speaker that's made with them into a whole other level. But are they amazing? Like, absolutely. And then if you're thinking about doing DSP and moving into something that can correct for other things that are going on, say with the cabinet, or if you want to swap it out, if you're using power, then, I mean, that's what you can achieve with something fairly inexpensive. You can DIY your own thing and then DSP everything. I mean, it's honestly something I've thought about doing. I would love to build my own speakers out and have something of my own. But I mean, I don't have a shop. I don't have woodworking tools. I would need to outsource a lot of the stuff that I want to make. I could make it aesthetically the way I want. And then could I cheat my way through a DSP module and then just like try amplify it with a DSP module? So that means I would need six amplifiers to do two channel left and right, a 3-way, and that's a lot to deal with, and then measure it and then tweak it and how much time I have, and that's why I rolled the dice on the KEF R11s. Now I'm praying that they come back or they show up and I plug them in and they dial in a little bit and I spend some time with them, but they hit all of those sweet spots. I mean, a lot of people have measured them, talked about them, said they sound great. Of course, people are pairing them with different things, Hagel amplifiers. I heard from a friend today that SPL or sound, something professional, SPL. What does SPL stand for again? Sound Performance Lab, SPL. They're like a professional HiFi studio / HiFi designers. They have like a lot of different products. They make stuff for mastering, studio, plugins, the hi-fi side. They make some really decent amps. They even have these really massive monoblocks, which I think I would really love to have. Problem is they're a little bit expensive. I mean, for the kind of power that they're talking about, 1,000 watts, I could easily just get the Buckeye amplifiers, the Purify modules, and go from there. I mean, obviously they don't look like this, but that's the beauty of having Buckeye amps, is you can get all of that amazing sound quality and power without spending like that much money. Why is this not loading? Is it because I'm streaming? Like, even the icons for closing the windows don't show up. So anyways, SPL has been known to pair well with KEF, and I'm interested. I'm fingers crossed that they're going to go well, that when I get them in-house, they're going to respond to my room. Some pretty lady. No, I don't. I'm not going to be spending money on one of those. That's a little odd. Anyhow, I'm excited. The other thing that's happening, I did reveal earlier in the stream, is I should be borrowing the MACO sound or MACO speakers or MACO, I don't know. It's either sound, acoustics, speakers, something. All of these audio brands have the same sort of tag name. But, to just say MACO, some people wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But the MACO Macaria's speakers, I am going to borrow a pair. I don't know what color they're going to be. I don't know what model they're going to be. It may be the system that was at Toronto Audio Fest. Now, the problem is my room is only so big. And I don't know what I'm going to do if the whole system shows up. Like, that's a lot of speakers. It's a lot of speaker, and it's a lot of amps. There was two power amps. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, let me see if I can share this. This is the whole system. So if I'm going to get this whole system in my room, look at the spiders, look at the center rack, like all of this stuff. I don't know how I would be able to get this in my room. I'm concerned. I mean, I'm excited because I'd love to hear what they sound like. And then my room is only of a certain size. So I'm praying that it does work out well and it fits well. The reason why I agreed to it is because if I'm really honest with everybody right now, I almost wrote off open baffle speakers completely. You know, I don't get the design. I don't understand a lot about it, but that's the perfect scenario for having something in-house and experiencing it. Is instead of being biased and judgmental based on what I'm looking at or what I'm not used to, I can actually get it in-house and give it a listen to see how it performs. Now, of course, my room is a certain size. I get that. And that's something I'm going to have to account for when I evaluate them versus other things. Now, the problem is that's 3 different kinds of speakers that might be showing up here that are available locally. Some that I bought, which are the R11s. And I went in that direction based on everything that I had heard online, many reviews, many people accounting for them and giving their feedback and measurements that I've seen versus the Arundel towers. And I had the Arundels and I love them. The 1723s are still an amazing purchase if you can find them, even from their outlet store. Save a bit of money, buy something that's, you know, a little bit under their budget. Or under the new, even the S series, the THX S series with the 6.5s instead of 8s would be amazing in most spaces. I got the 8s because of the tweeter height, and this is something I'm going to have to consider with a lot of the stuff I'm purchasing. R11s, if I can, I'll find them here in an image. The Kef R11s are a little bit short. Let me see. I mean, the tweeter is in the middle of the cabinet, is essentially what I'm talking about. And this height, I'm still waiting for a couple people that have them to get back to me and tell me what the height is. This height is similar to the problem I'm having right now with the PMCs and the monitor audios, is if the tweeter is really low in my room, then the sound staging is going to sound like it's coming from my floor. And I don't know what's going on with that, whether it's a reflection that's different because of the dispersion pattern. The monitor audios, the AMT is almost flat on the baffle. The PMC tweeter is definitely flat on the baffle, so there's more sound being thrown from the baffle side. With my Arundel 1723, it's a deeper waveguide. And same with my Bucard audios, and same with my monolith speakers. Actually, the ones that are behind me here, they have a deeper waveguide, so the sound energy is pointed in a certain direction. So when I changed the speakers, it changed the profile in my room. It didn't sound the same anymore. So I'm curious and cautious about these and the tweeter height, whether I'm going to put the Gaia acoustic ISO acoustics underneath to raise them up a little bit. If I've got some extra height there from the Neo versions of the Gaia acoustics, the newer ones that actually have a height adjustment and different technologies. So with this system showing up, even the amps, I believe I'm going to borrow the integrated amp as well, so it'll be tube sound versus my Class D Purify amps, which I can switch back and forth and see what I think of that sound. Now, I'm not a big fan of tubes either. I had tubes in the house before. I had Thomas & Stereo's TS-120. I had the TS-120 basically when it was new. And it was interesting. I thought it sounded great. I had Sonus Faber speakers at the time. Those are a very smooth sounding speaker, mid-range, treble. So it was nice to hear, but I don't know that my ear resolves tubes the way that others do. I had a Advanced Paris MX Stream tubes, and I couldn't hear much of a difference between my Weem streamer and the MX streamer. And that could be because of me, the cables, the room. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to get the tubes in. If it's the integrated, that'll be interesting because then that's certain number of things out of the chain. I mean, I could do the streamer in and then out from there. And then otherwise it's my Purify amps plus the Michi P5 preamp instead of an integrated. So there's more things in the chain there. But I'm excited to just experiment. And I think a lot of people have asked questions about these. And the whole point of filming all this stuff, like I said, is not for me. I wouldn't do any of the filming for my sake. I don't make any money from YouTube, really. There's no money coming from companies or brands or anything like that. My photography gets posted on most of the sites for free. A lot of other people just take whatever they want. I don't get paid from that. So the reason why I'm doing any of the videos is to share my thoughts on it and generate some conversation within the community. So I'm excited to get the R11s. I'm praying that they are as good as I hope they are, which is not really a good thing at all. Most of the time, like, you do your research, you listen, you experience them, then you make your decision based on your experiences. And I'm kind of going on faith, which is not the best way to do this stuff. But with the Macarias, I've heard them in room. I've heard them in multiple locations. I heard them at Expona. I heard them in Toronto. I've heard them, I can't remember if there was a room at Montreal or not. I can't remember. But anyways, I've heard them a bunch, so I know a little bit more what to expect. But I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm experiencing is for the first time. My time with the Monitor Audio Studio 89s, this is the first time I've ever heard them. The Radiant Acoustics Clarity 6.2 showed up, never heard them before. I mean, I trust Purify. Same thing with the Bucard Audio A10s. They just showed up and I started listening and I learned what I like about them. They work in the space. But the one thing that's familiar with most of them is a waveguide. Now, the only other ones I had were the Lumina series, Lumina 5s, Lumina 2s, that didn't have much of a waveguide. So now I'm learning what waveguides sound like in my room, and I tuned the room based on the waveguide, essentially. I decorated the room and changed everything based on the speakers I had. And now that the speakers are changed, I'm running into a lot of other things. So interesting sort of experiences. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm going to keep the show short today, and I appreciate those who've come to watch. I don't have much to share other than a couple of new things. The ExMachina speakers, if the reps get back to me and everything goes well, then I'll be able to borrow those locally, and I'll be able to tell you all what I think of those. The R11s and the MACOs should be showing up in the next 1 or 2 weeks. So that'll be exciting. I'll have some new demos to share there. And then, I don't know, Thursday I'll be back again with another stream, and I'll let you know kind of what's going on. If there's any news, any questions at all, put them in the comment section. Yeah, I'm excited that new things are happening. I get to bring you new experiences. Also, 4 or 5 new videos were posted to the channel. So if you're catching this live and you didn't see the new videos, please check out those videos. Let me see. It'll be interesting to see what comes in first. I think the R11s will be first, but it's going to be tricky because I have to be home to receive them. Like delivery here with an apartment. Like if you're not home, then, they just sit somewhere, and that's not good. I can't have that. Or if they get delivered to a drop point and I don't drive a vehicle, I don't know how I'm going to go pick them up. This is a really big deal. So I have to figure that out. So much happening for you. Looking forward to the new speakers. Yes, me too. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you very much for supporting and being around again. Thank you. Again, like I said, I'm going to get out of here a bit early. A little bit shorter than an hour today. I'll be back again Thursday with some updates. I'll figure out what I can do. But yeah, that's what it is. And that's been me. And here you are. And thank you very much. I'll see everybody on Thursday. Take care of yourselves. Listen to some new music. Follow along from the bio in YouTube for my email and playlist and Discord and Facebook and Instagram, all the same name. You guys can find everything. Enjoy some new music. I'll see everybody in a couple of days. Cool? All right. Bye-bye.